My beloved child, come close and sit with me for a moment, for I have much to tell your weary heart. I have seen the way you have carried yourself through the long, winding corridors of these past 7 years, and I have watched as you navigated the shadows with a flickering candle of faith that never quite went out, even when the winds of life blew their hardest. I have been there for every sunrise that felt like a burden instead of a gift, and every sunset that brought only the cold shadow of unanswered questions and the heavy silence of an empty house. You have been so patient, though I know there were times when your patience felt like it was fraying at the edges, worn thin by the friction of a world that seems to demand more than you have to give. I want you to know that I have counted every single tear that tracked down your face in the dark of the night, those silent, hot droplets that you thought were lost to the fibers of your pillow. They were not lost. They were collected in my bottle, each one a precious prayer that my heart felt as deeply as yours did. You have felt as though you were walking through a vast, scorching desert, seeing mirages of hope only to find more dry sand beneath your feet when you reached for them. But the number 7 is significant in the kingdom I have built for you. It is the number of completion, the number of a finished work, and the number of a divine Sabbath rest after a long season of toil and creation. For 7 years, you have been in a season of pruning and preparation that often felt more like punishment than growth. I know it felt like loss. I know it felt like I was systematically taking things away from you, finances that dwindled despite your hard work, friendships that faded into an icy silence, and opportunities that seemed to vanish into thin air just as your fingers brushed the handle of the door. But I was not depleting you. I was clearing the ground. You cannot build a palace on top of a shack, and I have been tearing down the old, unstable structures of your life to make room for the glory I am about to pour in. This month, my child, the scenery of your life is changing with a speed that will take your breath away. Can you feel the shift in the spiritual atmosphere around you? Even as you read these words, my spirit is moving in the places you cannot see, rearranging the stars of your destiny. I am speaking to the hearts of people you haven't even met yet, preparing them to bless you. I am moving the hands of those who hold the keys to the doors you've been knocking on until your knuckles were bruised and sore. The anxiety that has sat like a heavy, jagged stone upon your chest for so long is being lifted by my own hand right now. I am breathing my peace into your lungs, a peace that transcends your bank account balance, a peace that defies human logic, and a peace that tells you everything is going to be all right, because I am the one holding the universe and your heart at the same time. You have worried about your provisions, looking at the numbers and feeling the sharp sting of lack, the hollow ache in your stomach when the bills arrived. But I am the God who fed thousands with a boy's small lunch, and I am the God who brought living water from a dry, flinty rock. This month, you will see the provision manifest in ways that prove I am your Father. It may come as a sudden opportunity that seems to drop from the sky, an unexpected gift from a stranger, or a miraculous restoration of what was stolen from you years ago. But know this, it is my hand reaching out to you. And to those of you who have felt the biting chill of loneliness, who have felt like a ghost in your own life, invisible to the world around you, I see you. I have always seen you. I am bringing people into your life who will see the light I have placed within you, people who will cherish the gold that was refined in the fire of these 7 years. You are not alone, and you never have been. I have been the silent companion on your long walks, the presence in your quiet room, and the steady voice in your heart that whispered, "Keep going," when every other voice told you to stop. This month is the threshold. You are stepping out of the wilderness and into the land of your inheritance. Do not look back at the desert with longing or regret for the time you think you lost. That time was not lost. It was an investment in the person you have become. You are stronger now. You are wiser. You are more beautiful in your scars than you ever were in your perfection. The miracles I am releasing this month are not just for your comfort, but to show the world that I am a God who keeps his promises to the very end. So, dry your eyes and lift your head. The season of sighing is over, and the season of singing has begun. I love you with a love that has no beginning and no end. Trust me one more time. The wait is finally over. Do you remember the night in the third year when you sat on the edge of your bed, your head in your hands, wondering if you had heard me wrong? You looked at the calendar and saw only days stretching out like a barren desert, and you felt as though you were shouting into a void. I want you to know that your tears that night were not wasted. They were the very water needed for the seeds I was planting deep beneath the frost of your circumstances. You thought you were buried, but you were actually being planted. This month, the first green shoots of your harvest are breaking through the soil of your reality. I am opening doors that no man can shut, and I am shutting doors that have only led you to dead ends and heartache. Look closely at the small things first. Watch for the unexpected phone call from the one who owes you a debt of kindness. Watch for the sudden clarity in your mind regarding the project you abandoned because you felt inadequate. I am restoring your confidence, not as the world gives it, but as a rock-solid foundation built on the truth of who I created you to be. I am moving in your finances, untangling the knots that have kept you bound to scarcity. You have lived with just enough for too long, and now I am leading you into more than enough, so that you can be a conduit of my blessing to others. Think back to the dreams you tucked away in the back of your heart, the ones you thought were too late or too impossible to achieve. I am dusting them off. I am breathing new life into the dry bones of your aspirations. Whether it is the restoration of a family bond that was severed by pride, or the healing of a body that has been weary with chronic pain, my power is flowing into those spaces now. Feel the warmth of my presence settling in your home. No longer will the walls echo with the sound of your sighs, but they will ring with the melody of your thanksgiving. I am the architect of time, and I am folding the years of lack into a single moment of abundance. You have watched others pass you by, seen their celebrations, and wondered when it would be your turn. Your turn has arrived, but do not compare your harvest to theirs. Your harvest has been seasoned with a depth of character that only 7 years of endurance could produce. You are not receiving a temporary fix. You are receiving a permanent transformation. I am rearranging the circumstances of your life to align with the purpose I spoke over you before you were even born. Every delay was a protection. Every no was a not yet designed to bring you to this very hour. Can you feel the shift in the atmosphere? The heaviness that has sat upon your shoulders like a leaden cloak is being lifted. In its place, I am draping you in a garment of praise. I am healing the trauma of the waiting, removing the sting of the disappointment that made you afraid to hope again. It is safe to hope now. It is safe to dream. I am your safe harbor, and the storms that battered your ship have finally run out of wind. This month, I am bringing you into a rhythm of grace where you will no longer have to strive and struggle for every inch of progress. You will find yourself in the right place at the right time, meeting the right people who have the keys you need. I am working behind the scenes, speaking to people on your behalf, moving hearts that you thought were cold as stone. You are my beloved, and I take great delight in surprising you with my goodness. There is a specific breakthrough coming to your household, something you stopped praying for because it hurt too much to ask. I haven't forgotten. I have kept that prayer in a golden bowl, and I am pouring it out as a rain of favor. Prepare your heart. Clear out the clutter of doubt and the debris of past failures. You are standing on holy ground, the ground where the promise meets the manifestation. We are walking together into this new landscape, hand in hand, and I will show you wonders you never dared to imagine. The 84 months of testing are being summarized into a testimony that will encourage thousands. Your story is not a tragedy. It is a masterpiece of redemption that is only just reaching its most beautiful chapter. Stay close to me. Listen for my whisper in the morning and my song in the night. I am about to do a new thing, and even now, it is springing forth. Can you not perceive it? The air is changing. The light is growing brighter. The long winter is melting away under the sun of my favor, and the fragrance of the new season is already on the breeze. Consider the bird that does not sow or reap, yet I feed it. How much more will I do for you, you who have remained faithful when the sky was black? I am looking at the details of your daily life, the car that needs repair, the child who has wandered, the secret fear that keeps you awake at 3 in the morning. I am touching those things. I am sending an angel of provision to your doorstep. I am sending a spirit of reconciliation to that broken relationship. You will see a change in the way people treat you. Those who once overlooked you will now seek your counsel. Those who once judged you will see the visible mark of my favor upon your life. This month is about the suddenlies. Suddenly, the check arrives. Suddenly, the pain vanishes. Suddenly, the heart that was closed opens wide. You have been in a season of pruning, and it was painful. You felt the shears cutting away parts of your life you thought you needed. But I was only removing what would hinder the massive growth that is coming now. You are more fruitful today than you have ever been. Your roots have gone down deep into the hidden streams of my spirit, and because your roots are deep, your branches will be heavy with fruit that lasts. I am also healing your mind. The mental exhaustion from years of anxiety is being replaced by a sound mind and a quiet spirit. I am giving you the sleep of the beloved. No more tossing and turning, trying to solve problems that only I can solve. Hand the blueprints of your life back to me. I am the master builder, and I am constructing something glorious out of the ruins of your past. I am the God of the second chance, the third chance, and the 7-year restoration. I am reclaiming the time the locusts have eaten. I am adding back the years of joy to make up for the years of sorrow. You will look back on this month and say, that was when everything changed. This is not a fleeting emotion. It is a fundamental shift in your reality. I am opening the windows of heaven, and the blessing I am pouring out will not have room enough for you to contain it. You will become a wellspring for others who are still in their own 7-year deserts. You will be the living proof that I am faithful. I am deepening our intimacy in this process. I don't just want to give you things. I want to give you myself. The gift is beautiful, but the giver is where your true life is found. As the days of this month unfold, pay attention to the coincidences that aren't coincidences at all. They are my fingerprints on your schedule. They are my whispers of love written in the events of your day. You are crossing over. The Jordan is parting before you, and you will walk across on dry land. The giants that frightened you in the past will look like grasshoppers in the light of my glory. You are being promoted in the spirit and in the natural. Your name is being mentioned in rooms you haven't entered yet. Your dignity is being returned to you with interest. This is the month of the great exchange. Do not be afraid of the magnitude of the blessing. You were made for this. You have been seasoned for this. You are ready. Think back to the quiet nights over these past 84 months, when the silence felt less like peace and more like an abandonment. I saw you in the dim light of your living room, staring at a phone that wouldn't ring or a bank balance that wouldn't budge, wondering if the promises I whispered to your heart had an expiration date. I am here to tell you that my word never returns void. It only matures. Just as a seed must endure the crushing weight of the earth and the cold isolation of the soil before it can pierce the surface, your spirit has been in a holy incubation. You felt buried, but you were actually planted. This month, the soil is parting. The pressure that once felt like it would break you is now the very thing pushing you toward the light. I am specifically moving in your professional life where you have felt overlooked and undervalued. You have sat in meetings where your ideas were spoken by others and credited to them. You have watched colleagues move ahead while you remained steady in the background, faithfully doing the work that no one saw. But I saw. I have been keeping a record of every extra hour, every silent prayer for your enemies, and every time you chose integrity over a shortcut. This month, a suddenly is entering your workplace. An unexpected vacancy, a divine connection, or a realization by those in authority will bring you into the light. I am giving you a seat at tables you didn't even know were being set. Do not worry about your preparation. The last 7 years were your preparation. The trials you faced were not obstacles. They were the curriculum. You have developed a resilience that those who had it easy will never possess. I'm also breathing life into your physical body. I know the toll that long-term stress takes on the frame. I have seen the tension in your shoulders and the way your sleep has been fragmented by the what-ifs of the future. I am releasing a spirit of vitality over you this month. You will find your energy returning, your mind clearing of the fog that has lingered since the 3rd year of this trial, and a new strength in your steps. I am healing the inflammatory places, both in your body and in your soul. Think of the person who walked away from you when things got difficult, the one whose absence left a hole in your confidence. I am filling that space with a revelation of your own worth. You no longer need the validation of those who could not see your value in the desert. I am surrounding you with destiny helpers, people who will see the gold in you instantly, and who will use their influence to help you shine. Your finances are being recalibrated. The leak in your bag is being sealed. For 7 years, it felt like as soon as you gained a little, an unexpected expense would take it away. This was the cycle of the wilderness, but you are entering the cycle of the harvest. I am teaching you how to manage the abundance that is coming, for it will be more than enough for your needs. It will be a reservoir for the dreams I placed in your heart long ago. Do you remember the dream you tucked away in a drawer 5 years ago because it felt too painful to look at? The one you told yourself was just a fantasy. I am asking you to take it out and dust it off. It wasn't a fantasy. It was a blueprint. I am providing the resources, the timing, and the courage to begin again. This time, you won't be building on the sand of your own effort, but on the rock of my grace. Pay attention to your dreams tonight and in the nights to come. I am speaking to you in the language of symbols and peace. I am resolving the legal matters and the paperwork that have been stalled in a state of pending for far too long. The weight is being replaced by weight, the weight of my glory and the substance of my favor. You will find favor with strangers in the grocery store, with clerks at the courthouse, and with executives in the boardroom. This is not because of your charm, though I have made you radiant, but because of my mark upon you. You are entering a season where the wind is finally at your back. You have rowed against the current for 7 years, exhausting your own strength, but now you may lay down the oars. My spirit is the wind in your sails. I am taking you further in the next 30 days than you have traveled in the last 7 years. Your family will see the transformation and marvel. The children who have watched you struggle will now watch you soar, and it will give them the faith to trust me with their own futures. Every tear you shed has been turned into a liquid pearl, and I am fashioning them into a crown of beauty for your ashes. This month you will find yourself laughing again, not a polite, social laugh, but a deep, belly-shaking joy that comes from the core of a redeemed soul. You are my masterpiece in progress, and the world is about to see the colors I have been mixing in the dark. Rest in this truth. The transition has already begun. You don't have to make it happen. You only have to let it happen. I am your father, your provider, and your greatest advocate, and I am saying, your time is now. Look at your hands. For 7 years, they have been clenched tight, holding onto the frayed ends of your hope, white-knuckled and weary. I am asking you now to open them. Release the grip on the how and the when, for I have already orchestrated the who and the where. In the coming weeks, you will see a series of divine intersections that will feel like coincidences to the world, but will be recognized as my signature by your spirit. Think back to that Tuesday night 3 years ago when you sat on the floor of your kitchen, the light from the refrigerator the only glow in the room, and you whispered, "Is this all there is?" I heard you. I was in the shadow beside you. I was counting every sigh. I didn't answer then with thunder because I was working in the soil. You cannot rush a harvest that is meant to sustain you for the rest of your life. If I had given you the breakthrough in year 2, you would have lacked the character to carry the weight of the blessing. If I had opened the door in year 5, you would have attributed the success to your own striving. But now, in this 7th year, the year of completion, you are empty of yourself and full of me. This is the perfect state for a miracle. I am touching your finances, specifically that one debt that has felt like a chain around your neck. You have looked at the numbers until they blurred, trying to find a mathematical way out, but my arithmetic is not bound by earthly logic. I am bringing a suddenly into your bank account. It may come through a forgotten deposit, an inheritance from a distant branch of the family tree, or a settlement that was previously denied, but it will come. You will walk into the bank not to ask for a loan, but to pay one off. And as you do, you will feel the physical weight lift from your shoulders. I am also breathing life into your physical body. The chronic fatigue that has made your limbs feel like lead is being replaced by a supernatural vitality. You will wake up before the alarm, not with dread, but with a song. Those aches in your joints that you attributed to age are actually the manifestations of stored-up stress. And as my peace floods your mind, your body will follow suit. You will find yourself walking further, breathing deeper, and seeing clearer. I see the relationships that have withered in the drought of your waiting. There is a specific person, you know the name, with whom the bridge was burned or at least neglected. In the next 21 days, I am softening their heart. The pride that has kept you both apart is melting under the warmth of my presence. Do not be surprised when your phone lights up with a message that begins with, "I was thinking about you." This is not your doing. It is my restoration. I am a God of reconciliation, and I am bringing back the years the locusts have eaten. Your home, which has felt like a fortress of solitude, is about to become a house of hospitality. I am clearing out the atmosphere of heaviness that has settled in the corners of your rooms. Open the windows. Let the air move. The stagnation is over. You have felt like you were living in a waiting room, but I tell you, the door has been unlocked the whole time. Consider the dreams you tucked away in the back of the closet, wrapped in mothballs and regret. You thought they were dead, but they were only dormant. Like a seed in the dark, they needed the cold of the winter to prepare for the explosion of the spring. I am calling those dreams forth. That business plan you scribbled on a napkin, that book that exists only in your imagination, that ministry that felt too big for your small life, I am breathing on the embers. You will find that the skills you acquired during your 7-year wilderness, the patience, the resourcefulness, the empathy, are the very tools you need for the palace. You are not starting from scratch, you are starting from experience. Every no you endured was a protection, not a rejection. I was closing doors that would have led to your destruction to ensure you were standing in front of the one door that leads to your destiny. In the quiet moments of this week, I want you to listen for the sound of rain. It is a spiritual sound before it is a physical one. It is the sound of abundance. The dry ground of your soul is about to be saturated. You have been so used to the dust that the first drop might startle you, but do not pull back. Soak in it. I am washing away the grit of the struggle. I am erasing the lines of worry from your forehead. You have been a marathon runner who forgot there was a finish line, but I am here to tell you, you are in the final 100 meters. The crowd of witnesses is leaning over the banisters of heaven, cheering your name. They see what you cannot yet see, the ribbon you are about to break. Do not look back at the 7 years with bitterness. Do not mourn the time you think you lost. In my economy, nothing is wasted. I am going to compress time for you. I will give you the fruit of a decade in the span of a single season. You will look at your life a year from now and wonder who that person was who sat weeping in the kitchen. The transformation will be so thorough that your old clothes won't fit your new spirit. I am preparing a table for you in the presence of your enemies, those voices of doubt, those people who said you would never amount to anything, those spirits of lack. They will have to watch as I pour the oil of gladness over your head until it runs down your robes. Wait for the mail. Watch the inbox. Pay attention to the random phone calls. I am moving people like chess pieces on a board to position you for the checkmate against your struggles. You are moving from the periphery to the center. You have been in the wings of the stage, watching others perform, learning your lines in the shadows. Now, the master director is signaling for the lights to come up on you. This is not for your fame, but for my glory to be seen through a vessel that has been tried in the fire and found pure. I have refined you, not as silver, but in the furnace of affliction, and now you shine with a light that cannot be hidden. The pending status is being changed to approved in the heavenly courts, and the earthly courts must now align. Peace, be still. The storm has spent its strength, and the morning is breaking over the horizon. Can you feel the atmosphere shifting? For 84 months, you have measured your life by the rhythm of a ticking clock that seemed to lead nowhere. You have watched the seasons change outside your window, while your internal landscape remained a frozen tundra of expectation. You counted the years by the absences, the absence of the child you longed to hold, the absence of the partner who would understand your soul, the absence of the financial breakthrough that would allow you to breathe, and the absence of the peace that once defined your days. You looked at your hands and saw only the calluses of labor without the visible fruit of the harvest. But I have been counting differently. I have been counting every tear you shed when the house was silent, and the weight of the world felt like a physical burden on your chest. I have stored those tears in my bottle, not as a souvenir of your sorrow, but as a holy seed for your coming joy. Every drop of rain in your desert was strategically allowed to soften the parched ground of your heart, ensuring that when the sudden bloom happens, your roots will be deep enough to sustain the massive weight of the blessing I am about to release. Do not look back at these 7 years as a graveyard of your dreams or a void of wasted time. Look at them as the hidden, subterranean foundation of a cathedral. You cannot build a structure of eternal significance without digging into the dark, cold earth first. The deeper the hole, the more magnificent the spire can reach toward the heavens. This month, the digging stops and the structural building begins. I am calling forth the architects of your favor from the corners of the earth. I am commanding the ravens to feed you in the secret places where you thought you would surely starve. Remember the night you walked through the grocery store and had to quietly return items to the shelf because the numbers in your bank account did not align with the hunger in your home. Remember the sharp sting of that hidden shame, the way you lowered your head so no one would see the glint of moisture in your eyes. I was there in the aisle with you. I saw your dignity remain intact even when your pockets were empty. That season of not enough was a divine classroom where I taught you that I am more than enough. Now, as the windows of heaven begin to creak open on rusted hinges, you will not be a novice with wealth or influence. You will be a seasoned steward with a heart refined like gold. I am bringing back the years the locusts have eaten with interest. The devouring spirit that stole your momentum and made you feel like you were running in place is being bound by my hand, and I am issuing a decree of restoration that is sevenfold. Think of the people who walked away from you when you were at your lowest, those who judged your winter as if it were your permanent climate. I allowed that separation to protect you from the poison of their cynicism during your coming elevation. If they could not handle the sight of your pruning, they have no right to sit under the shade of your abundance. I am bringing new people into your inner circle, destiny helpers and covenant friends, who will not ask what you can do for them, but will ask how they can assist the vision I have carved into your spirit. You are no longer the one begging for a crumb at the table. You are the one for whom the banquet is being prepared. Look at your calendar with fresh eyes. Do not see it as a repetitive count of weary days, but as a countdown to a divine encounter that will redefine your lineage. There is a legal signature required this week. There is a yes that has been traveling toward you through the spiritual realms for 7 years, fighting through every high place and every principality, and it is finally breaking through the atmosphere of your life. The delays were never denials. They were the necessary calibration of your character. If I had given you the crown 7 years ago, the weight of it would have crushed your unrefined neck. But now, after the fire, after the deafening silence, after the long nights of wondering if I had forgotten your name or misplaced your file in the celestial courts, you are ready. You are tempered like the finest steel. You are radiant like the morning star. I see you looking at your reflection in the mirror, tracing the lines of worry and the shadows of exhaustion under your eyes. I am going to smooth those lines with the oil of gladness. I am going to restore your youth and your vitality until your strength is like the eagle's. The energy you thought was gone forever, the passion you thought had burned out into cold ash, is being reignited by my breath. You will run and not be weary. You will walk and not faint. This is the month of the great suddenly. It will start as a small cloud, no bigger than a man's hand on the horizon of your hope, but before the final day of this month, the heavens will be heavy with the promise of a downpour. Prepare your containers. Dig your trenches in the dry valleys. Do not let your current expectation be limited by your past experience. Your experience screams never, but my word whispers now. I am the God of the 11th hour, the God who waits until the stone is rolled in front of the tomb to show the world that I am the resurrection and the life. Your situation isn't just difficult, it had become humanly impossible. And that is exactly why I chose it for this moment. I chose it so that, when the breakthrough erupts, no man can take the credit, no system can claim the glory, and no luck can be thanked. It will be the unmistakable finger of God, and everyone who mocked your long wait will be forced to acknowledge the heavy weight of my glory upon your life. Be sensitive to the subtle nudges of my spirit this week. If I tell you to walk down a street you haven't visited, go there. If I tell you to reach out to a name that hasn't crossed your mind in years, reach out. I am orchestrating a divine collision. The intersection of my sovereign timing and your simple obedience is the place where the miracle is birthed. You have been pregnant with a promise for 7 long years, and the labor has been grueling and agonizing. But the crowning is here. The transition phase is always the most painful, but it is also the closest you will ever be to the delivery. Do not give up when the pressure is at its peak. Push one more time. Pray one more time. Sing one more song of praise while the tears are still wet on your cheeks. The sound of your praise in the pit is the frequency that shatters the chains of the prison. Like Paul and Silas in the midnight hour, your worship is shaking the very foundations of your captivity. The chains are falling off, not just from your wrists, but from your mind. You are being liberated from the trauma of the not yet. You are being healed from the spiritual exhaustion of the struggle. I am washing away the scent of the furnace from your hair and your clothes. When you walk out of this month, you won't even smell like the smoke of what you've been through. You will emerge fresh, empowered, and unrecognizable to those who knew you in your sorrow. The 7 years are officially over. The month of manifestation has begun. Listen for the sound of the wind. It is the breath of my spirit blowing upon the dry bones of your destiny, and they are clicking together, bone to bone, sinew to sinew, rising up as a mighty force. You are that miracle. You are my beloved, and your time has come to step into the light. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Do you not perceive it? For 7 years, your life has felt like a hidden garden, walled off and forgotten by the passing world. You watched from behind the stones as others gathered their harvests, as their vineyards flourished and their barns overflowed. You celebrated their victories while swallowing the bitter salt of your own delay. I saw every tear that fell into your morning coffee at that chipped wooden table where you sat alone, staring at bills that didn't add up and dreams that seemed to be drifting further away with every tick of the clock. I heard the silence in your hallway that felt heavier than any noise. You wondered if I had turned my face away, or if the promise I whispered to you in the secret place during that first year of hope had been a figment of your own desperate imagination. But I tell you, the hiddenness was not a punishment. It was a divine preparation. You were being rooted in the dark because the height to which I am raising you requires a depth you did not yet possess. In those 7 years, I was stripping away the reliance on your own strength. I was dismantling the idols of public approval and the scaffolding of worldly security. I was teaching your heart to beat in rhythm with mine, even when the music of the world had stopped. Think back to that 3rd year, the year of the great fatigue, when the weariness first began to settle into your marrow. Remember the night you sat on the edge of your bed, head in hands, and whispered into the darkness, "How much longer, Lord?" Even then, I was stitching together the tapestry of your suddenly. You saw only the tangled threads on the underside, the knots and the messy overlaps, but I have been weaving a masterpiece of resilience. The business that seemed to die in its infancy, the relationship that withered despite your constant pruning and prayers, the health that wavered like a flickering candle in a gale, these were not the end of your story, but the chapters that defined your character. This month, the ink is dry on the season of lack. I am calling forth the Lazarus moments in your life. I am standing at the tomb of your buried expectations and shouting, "Come forth!" Do you feel the quickening in your spirit? It is the pulse of a dead dream waking up. It is the color returning to the cheeks of your hope. Look at your hands, have been empty for so long so that they would be finally open to receive the weight of what I am pouring out. A closed fist cannot catch a blessing, but your years of struggle have pried your fingers open until you have nothing left to hold onto but me. That is exactly where I wanted you. For the blessing I am releasing this month is so significant that it cannot be credited to your effort, your intellect, or your timing. It will be undeniable that I am the architect of this restoration. I am going into your bank accounts, and I am breathing life into the numbers that once caused you to tremble. I am going into your doctor's reports, and I am rewriting the narrative of your longevity and vitality. I am walking through the rooms of your home, clearing out the heavy atmosphere of disappointment and replacing it with the fragrance of joy. You will find yourself laughing again, a deep, belly laugh that surprises even you, a laughter like Sarah's when the impossible became flesh and blood in her arms. You have been the hidden one for so long that you have forgotten how to be seen, but the curtain is rising. The month of your manifestation is not just about what I am giving you. It is about who I have made you. You are no longer the one who waits. You are the one who possesses. You are no longer the one who begs at the gate. You are the one who holds the keys to the manor. I am giving you the access to the storehouses you once peered into from the outside. There is an acceleration occurring in the spiritual realm that will manifest in your physical reality, before the moon completes its cycle. What took others 10 years of striving will take you 10 days of surrender. Where you were once bypassed for the promotion, where you were once ignored by the very people you helped, you will now be sought after. The very people who overlooked you will now see the radiance of my favor upon your brow, and they will marvel at the transformation. They will ask, "Is this not the one who was in the pit?" And you will answer, "I was, but the pit giver has become the palace maker." But do not fear the spotlight, for I am your shade at your right hand. I am the one who will steady your knees when the blessing feels too heavy to carry. I am teaching you how to walk in the abundance without losing your hunger for the giver. Do you remember the prayers you prayed 7 years ago? The ones you eventually stopped praying because the disappointment was too sharp to touch. I have kept them all in golden bowls. Not one word fell to the ground. I am answering them now, not as they were, but infused with the interest of your endurance. You asked for a stream, but I am bringing an ocean. You asked for a spark, but I am bringing a sun. Lean into me now, for the transition is almost complete. The pressure you feel in your chest is not anxiety. It is the expansion of your capacity. Your heart is being enlarged to hold the joy that is coming. Do not look back at the desert with longing or regret. The sand is being washed from your feet. You are stepping onto the plush, green grass of your promised land. The air is different here. The light is different here. Can you smell the rain? It is the rain of my goodness, saturating the parched ground of your life until the seeds of 7 years ago finally burst through the soil in a riot of color and fruitfulness. You are not just surviving anymore. You are beginning to truly live. Sit with me a while longer, for there is more I must reveal to you about the days ahead. Do you feel the shifting in the tectonic plates of your destiny? I am moving things that have been frozen for 84 months, shifting the weight of the world off your shoulders and onto my own. You often wondered why the delay was so long, why the seasons changed for everyone but you. You saw the saplings of others grow into great oaks while your garden remained a patch of dust, and in the quiet of the night, you questioned if my compass had lost its way to your door. But look closer, my beloved. Beneath that dust, I was building a root system that could withstand the harvest I am about to pour out. If I had given you the crown in the 2nd year, it would have crushed you. If I had opened the door in the 4th year, you would have walked through it with a heart still tethered to your ego, searching for validation in the mirrors of men. But now, after 7 years of refining, your ego has been traded for my presence. You no longer seek the gift more than the giver, and that is why you are finally ready. I see the nights you spent staring at the ceiling, calculating numbers that wouldn't add up, wondering if I had forgotten the address of your house. I was there in the kitchen when you made a meal for one and tried not to let the silence taste like bitterness. I was in the car when you had to pull over because the weight of not yet became too heavy to drive through the fog. Every sigh was a prayer I heard. Every tear was a seed I watered. This month, the not yet becomes here and now. I am going into your bank accounts, into your medical reports, into the broken places of your family tree, and I am performing a divine audit. Where there was a deficit of joy, I am releasing a surplus of peace. Where there was a bankruptcy of hope, I am establishing a wealth of purpose. Think back to that specific dream you had in the 3rd year, the one you threw in the trash because it felt like a cruel joke. I have retrieved it. I have polished it. It is no longer a dream. It is becoming your Monday morning reality. I am bringing people into your path who will not just see your potential, but who will recognize your value without you having to say a word. The season of being overlooked is ending. You will no longer be the one standing on the sidelines cheering for everyone else while your own hands are empty. I am putting a new song in your mouth, a melody that carries the frequency of heaven, a vibration that breaks the chains of those who watch you. But do not hurry through this moment. Do not rush to the finish line of this transition. There is a depth of intimacy we found in the dark that I want you to carry into the light. I want you to remember that I was enough when you had nothing, so that when you have everything, you will know that I am still the only thing that truly matters. I am smoothing the jagged edges of your past. The memories that used to sting will now only serve as the backdrop for my glory. I am restoring the years the locusts have eaten, not just replacing them, but multiplying the harvest to make up for the time lost. You are not behind. You are not late. You are perfectly on time in the calendar of my grace. I am opening the windows of heaven, and the latch is already turning. Can you hear the click? It is the sound of a new era beginning. The people who saw you in your wilderness will now see you in your wealth, not just financial wealth, but a wealth of spirit that radiates from your very skin. They will ask, "How did this happen?" And you will point to the 7 years of silence and say, "He was working in the quiet." I am preparing a table for you in the presence of your enemies, and the menu is grace, the drink is mercy, and the guest of honor is my spirit within you. I am touching the areas of your body that have grown weary from the stress of the weight. I am knitting together the frayed nerves and soothing the inflammation of the soul. You will move with a lightness you haven't felt since you were a child. I am clearing the administrative blockages in your life, the paperwork that was stuck, the legalities that were stalled, the signatures that were withheld. Watch how quickly they move this week. I am the God of the sudden, the God of the breakthrough, and I am specializing in your case. This is not a temporary reprieve. It is a permanent relocation. You are moving from the waiting room to the throne room. Do you remember the friend who walked away when things got hard? I am bringing better company. Do you remember the house you thought you lost? I have a mansion of peace waiting for you. I am dealing with the roots of your anxiety, pulling them up one by one until your mind is a sanctuary. We are not done talking yet. There are names I have to give you, places I have to show you, and a new identity you must put on like a garment of light. Your old name was waiting, but your new name is possessing. Your old name was hidden, but your new name is herald. Stay here, in the shadow of my wings, for the dawn is breaking, and the first light of this new month is about to hit your face. I am even now whispering to the hearts of those who hold the keys you need. I am making them restless until they call you. I am making them remember your name in their dreams. You do not need to knock any longer. The doors are being taken off their hinges. I am removing the limits you placed on me and the limits you placed on yourself. The 7 years were not a sentence. They were a cocoon. And my dear child, it is time for you to fly. Listen to the silence of the morning, for it is no longer the silence of abandonment, but the quiet before the roar of my goodness. I have watched you count the days, 365 times 7, marking the calendar with sighs that words could not express. You felt like a forgotten seed buried beneath the permafrost of a winter that would never end. But I was not hiding you from your purpose. I was hiding you for your purpose. In those years, I was strengthening your roots so that when the harvest comes, and it is coming now, you will not be toppled by the weight of the blessing. Do you remember the desk where you sat, staring at a screen that offered no hope, feeling the sting of rejection letters that arrived like clockwork? I have taken those rejections and used them as bricks to build the foundation of your new platform. I am currently speaking to the executive who overlooked you. I am causing a divine dissatisfaction to rise within them, an itch they cannot scratch until they see your face again. This month, your phone will not just ring, it will sing with the melody of opportunities you didn't even apply for. I am reaching into the archives of your past and pulling out the dreams you buried for safety. I am blowing the dust off them with the breath of my spirit. Look at your hands. They have been empty for so long that they have become accustomed to the shape of a fist, held tight in defense. Open them now. Relax your fingers. I am placing a new weight of glory within them. I am restoring the years the locusts have eaten, the years you spent caring for everyone else while your own vineyard was neglected. I see the sacrifice you made when you gave your last bit of strength to a parent who didn't recognize you, or a child who turned away. I was there in the hospital corridor where the air felt heavy with the scent of antiseptic and fear. I was there when you drove home in the dark, the steering wheel slick with your tears, asking me how long. My child, the how long has met its right now. I am reordering your DNA to recognize joy again. For too long, you have been in survival mode, your nervous system tuned to the frequency of the next crisis. I am recalibrating your heart to the rhythm of my peace. You will walk into rooms this month and feel a strange sense of belonging, as if the floorboards were laid specifically for your feet. I am dealing with the person who spoke against your character, the one whose whispers felt like poisoned arrows. I am your defense. I am your shield. You do not need to say a word to vindicate yourself. Your fruit will do the talking. I am opening the storehouses of heaven over your finances, not just enough to get by, but enough to be the river that waters the gardens of others. I am bringing back the laughter that felt like a distant memory. Remember the way you used to dream before the world told you to be realistic. I am calling you back to that holy imagination. I am showing you that my reality is far more expansive than your logic. Every tear you cried has been collected in my bottle, and I am turning that salt water into the wine of a new celebration. You are not just surviving this month, you are being coronated. I am putting a ring on your finger and a robe on your back. The shame that followed you like a shadow is being consumed by the light of my presence. I am healing the fractures in your family tree, reaching back generations to break the cycles of lack and loneliness. Your children will walk through doors that you had to kick down, and they will find them already open. I am giving you a new song, a melody that rises from the depths of your belly and fills the air with the fragrance of victory. Do not look back at the 7 years with regret. They were the furnace that made you gold. And gold does not fear the fire, it reflects the light. Stay close to me. Let my words wash over the tired places of your soul. I am whispering to the winds to blow in your direction. I am commanding the stars in their courses to align for your favor. You are my beloved, and the time of your singing has come. The winter is past, the rain is over and gone, and the flowers appear on the earth. Can you smell the fragrance of the change? It is the scent of your breakthrough, and it is closer than your next breath. I am working on the details you haven't even thought of yet, the parking space, the perfect timing, the chance encounter that changes everything. I am the God of the details, and I am obsessed with your joy. Rest your head on my shoulder. Let the tension drain from your shoulders. I have the world in my hands, and you are the center of my gaze. We are moving together into a season where impossible is a word that no longer applies to you. I am the great I am, and I am saying yes to your deepest, unspoken prayers. Think of the house you live in now. The walls have heard your prayers, the floorboards have felt the weight of your pacing. I am preparing a new space where the walls are saturated with praise. I am touching your physical body, from the top of your head to the soles of your feet. Those chronic pains that you accepted as part of your identity, they are melting away in the warmth of my love. I am restoring your sleep. No more waking up at 3:00 a.m. with a racing heart. You will sleep the sleep of the beloved, knowing that I am awake, working on your behalf. I am bringing people into your life who see the herald in you even before you speak. They will recognize the light on your face. I am arranging coincidences that will make you laugh out loud at my creativity. You will find money in places you forgot. You will receive refunds from years ago. You will see debts canceled with a single stroke of a pen. This is the month of the Jubilee in your personal life. The 7 years of lean cows are over. The 7 years of fat cows have begun. But this is not just a season, It is a permanent shift in your spiritual climate. You are no longer living under a closed heaven. The brass has turned to gold. The iron has turned to silver. Every word I have spoken over you in the secret place is manifesting in the public square. People will look at you and say, "Is this the same person who was bowed down?" And you will smile because you know it is not. You have been transfigured by the weight. You have been made ready for the weight of what I am giving you. Do not be afraid of the magnitude of the blessing. You were born for this. You were forged for this. This month is the ribbon-cutting ceremony of your new life. I am standing there with the scissors, and you are standing beside me. Together, we are stepping across the threshold. Do not look back at the threshold of the past. Look at the horizon I am laying out before you. It is vast, it is beautiful, and it is yours. Every step you take will be on holy ground.